Hello everybody and welcome to the HCW Podcast. This week we are going to be reviewing WWE Friday Night Smackdown, WWE Monday Night Raw and AEW Wednesday Night Dynamite. It's going to be a fun show, so check it out. As always, roll intro.
HCW Reviews.
Everybody and welcome to the show. I am your host Frozzy alongside Ray Russell. As always, how are you doing this week, bud?
Yeah, I'm doing well. I've got one more day at work tomorrow and then I'm off for a week. And I'm going to be 30 by the time you see me again on this podcast.
Yeah, I was going to say, because you're taking a week off, so next week it is going to be myself and DP. So, yeah, we'll soldier through. I know it's not great, but, you know.
HCW fans rejoice, DP. He'll give you some good feedback.
He will, yeah. I can't wait for him to mark out over whatever happens on AEW programming next
Wardlow!
Yeah. Wardlow. It'll probably be this new version of Bullet Club, won't it?
Full of.
Yeah. Woo! But yeah, so Ray is going to be off next week, so as I said, it will be me and DP. And then I might just take a week off myself. No, I'm only joking, but at some point in July I am going to be off. Because the work approved my holiday from that I booked off for Lauren's birthday, and I've now actually got from the 9th of July until the 29th of July off because of how my rotations worked.
Jesus Christ.
I know, yeah. I've got 20 days off. I only booked 8 days. But yeah, it's how it works when you do 4 on 4 off. It's weird. So yeah, all good. So I'm going to be around a lot, but there's probably going to be a time where I'm just not here. So yeah, I shouldn't have said that on air, but you know. Everyone knows my life. Yeah, well, what we'll do is we'll crack straight into the wrestling and we'll talk about last week's Smackdown, if you want to kick us off, Ray.
Yeah, so Smackdown, obviously the 1000 days, kind of the celebration of Roman, so they had a really nice package, Roman's package. Yeah, it was a nice package. Okay. And then we kicked off with Theory coming down to the ring, and he was just generally gloating that, he could be the 1000-day United States champion. He beat John Cena, who's dying on that hill. And then he introduces Pretty Deadly, because obviously they helped him beat Sheamus last week. Yeah. And this led to Theory and Pretty Deadly versus the Brutes. Rated 3.25 stars. From what I remember, it was a fun match, and they had a funky finish again with Pretty Deadly. I believe one of them had their head caught up in the apron. Yeah. And then when the ref wasn't looking, the other one rolled in, caught his head up in the apron, and then it ended with Theory being allowed to pin the legal man after Pretty Deadly kind of just wiped them out with, I think. I was about to call it the 310 to Yuma, but that's the Gun Club finish. I don't know what their finish is called.
No, me neither. If DP was here,
he'd love it. Yes, boys. So yeah, good start to SmackDown. Solo backstage. Just a discussion that the Usos are not welcome at the 1000 day celebration for Roman for obvious reasons, because Jimmy cut Roman's face off.
Yeah. Give me more.
I've written a note here writing OC, and it really confused me because I thought it was Orange Cassidy, and I was like, no, the OC's a thing. Yeah. They're going to be taking care of Hit Row, and it's AJ's birthday.
Cool.
So next up, we had the OC versus Hit Row. They took care of Hit Row.
I was going to say, there's no way that these could have lost to Hit Row.
Yeah. Like, Hit Row need to disappear. Need to be repackaged. Top Dollar just needs to go away in general.
Yeah.
Like, he's not a good wrestler. He's entertaining, but he's not a good wrestler. Ashanti Adonis was good-ish as a cruiserweight, and then B-Fab's just there.
Yeah.
Like, awful group. Swerve was that group. Why'd you bring him back? Yeah. I think that's what Triple H must have thought. Oh, that was a good group. And then he forgot Swerve Strickland was that group. I just remembered.
Yeah, he got him back on TV and he was like, there's something missing.
I'm glad he just didn't throw like Cedric Alexander in the middle and just went, yeah. Just get another guy in, another guy involved, it'll be fine.
They need someone, if it's going to work, they need someone who can talk.
They need a focal point, but there's not really anyone that you could really throw. I can't think of anyone that could be just thrown in that focal point.
I'd need to look at a roster list.
Yeah. And if I remember, AJ took one of them out with a phenomenal forearm at the end as well.
Yeah.
Pierce confirmed with Paul Heyman that he's told the Usos that the travel is cancelled. Obviously, they weren't happy, and Paul Heyman just went, "Call Roman Reigns," and walked off. So this was all going to work out really well.
Yeah.
The Waller effect up next. This is becoming myth TV. It's fine at the moment because it's only happened twice.
Yeah.
But as soon as it starts happening every week, I'm not going to care about Grayson Waller again.
No.
It's funny. It's just I can't look when it's continuous. It's not going to be fun. His guest was Oscar.
Yeah.
Oscar and him were joking around. Oscar did a bit of Japanese. EO came down. They started saying Japanese stuff to each other, and supposedly they started swearing a lot in Japanese, according to the internet.
Yep.
So that probably ain't going to happen again. Then here comes Bayley, and then she was saying, "Oh, one of us is going to win the Money in the Bank." Then here comes Shotzi, she's going to win Money in the Bank. Here comes Lacey, she's going to win Money in the Bank. Here comes Zelina, Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
And then Belair was down.
Everyone's claiming this briefcase.
Yeah, Lacey is now Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah.
Which I'm fine with it now. I've got to the point where she just do what she wants. Like she's thrown at my screen.
She'll be someone else next week.
Yeah, Colonel Mufasa. Not Belair. Oh yeah, they had a few things. So it was weird that this ended with Zelina versus Thingy was going to be the next match, but then they had a Grimes promo backstage. Where he said he hated Corbin and he's going to have Corbin next, but Corbin's now on NXT, which is mental at the same time. Then Zelina, they showed Zelina getting punched during the thing to kind of make way for the 10-minute delay of them just standing in the ring, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, it was just a weird time. It was going back to the old school Raws where you'd have an entrance and 50 minutes later, the other person will have an entrance. And it's like, what's this guy been doing in the ring?
Yeah, the Corbin thing, he's undrafted, isn't he? So the NXT thing's explainable. But I know there's question marks around certain things that are happening. I think Dana Brooke was drafted to Raw, but she's turned up in NXT. Which is really random. If you've been specifically drafted, it shouldn't be happening.
Well, it was the same with AJ, wasn't it, in Raw? Just fearing.
Yeah, but there was a storyline reason for that, wasn't there? Because he was in the tournament and he had the final, and then he appeared on the Raw just as a congratulations thing, and it was just like, right, okay, you can sort of get away with that, you can talk around it. But with Dana Brooke, you drafted her, she shouldn't be going to NXT. It's just one of them things.
I remember Mustafa Ali, though, isn't he? He's on NXT as well.
Yeah, was he not undrafted as well?
No, because he was in the Great. Was that prior to the draft, or was that the? Do you know? Obviously, he fought fucking Gunther. Was that he was on Raw at that point? I'm sure that was already passed.
Oh yeah, no, it was Positive Ali, wasn't it? It was before Night of Champions when Brock told him to get alive.
Get alive, kid.
Yeah.
I'm sure that was post draft, wasn't it? It wasn't like
I can't remember. There is a couple who have gone to NXT, but they were both undrafted, I'm sure they were. I'd have to look into Ali. I don't know.
But yeah, anyway, Zelina versus Evans. Already 1 3/4 stars. Brute's match was 3 stars, although I don't know if I mentioned that. And Hit Row was 1/4 star, 1 1/4 stars. Zelina ended up winning. So that's my
Is Lacey Evans going to get in on one of these last chance things? Because
I'm guessing
you've given her a new gimmick, and now you're beating her straight away. It's just like...
Yeah. She came out on Twitter and said Zelina had too much baby oil on, and she got rid. That's how she got her the Kamakutch. I read that prior to actually seeing the match, and Zelina had no baby oil on. She was literally bone dry.
Yeah.
LWO backstage with Zelina. They're looking forward for her winning the Money in the Bank, and Santos is going to be in a qualifier to win the Money in the Bank. Main event time, technically. We had Knight versus Ford, rated 2.5 stars. It was a pretty meh match for both guys, but the right person won. LA Knight won a match.
I know, yeah.
He needs to be Money in the Bank. Perfect Money in the Bank.
I
and to beat Steph.
because it is perfect. Like, he's believable with, like, being a heel and teasing a cash-in and things like that, and someone that you hate, but you love him at the same time. It just works so well with his character. Remember when Damien Sandow won it? Well, technically won it. It'd be similar to that, but better. Yeah,
definitely. And I feel like he could be the one that could beat Seth with Money in the Bank. Cashing. He's not cashing in on Roman.
No one's cashing in on Roman. No one's cashing
unless
in on Roman.
They put someone like an Uso in Money in the Bank. Ooh. If Jay won Money in the Bank.
It'd be too
and
obvious.
Then that would add to but it adds to the story of Roman looking out for himself continuously, wouldn't it?
It'd just be too obvious. I feel like with that, they could manoeuvre themselves into
Roman
a position.
beats him.
I just feel like they could manoeuvre themselves into a position to get that match anyway without using Money in the Bank. I feel like that can be used to elevate someone on, like, somewhere else.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, LA Knight won by grabbing the rope, but he won. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
And then here it comes, the 1,000-day celebration. So we had Trips come down to the ring first, and obviously he was like the ceremony giver. He spoke about Roman's fantastic reign, and then obviously he brought Roman out. Roman came out, and they've got a new bout, finally. So Roman's not carrying around 2 random bouts.
Yeah.
They still need to sort out the women's championships because they're still calling them Raw and SmackDown on the opposite brand, and it's stupid.
Yeah.
Because when they're going to change them around? Survivor Series, maybe.
I figured they'd do it now. Like last time when Lynch and Charlotte changed, they did it like immediately.
I think they're worried how because Charlotte fecked that up though, didn't she? Threw it down, and then I'm guessing now they're worried about doing it.
Yeah, but that's like these are 2 completely different superstars. Maybe have them have a little bit of animosity, but Asuka and Rhea Ripley aren't going to cause you problems.
They shouldn't have done them in the women's title should have stayed on the brand they were on, because I think it's a lineage thing as well, because obviously if you swap the titles over and suddenly they're technically only got the belt for a day, and I don't know if it's either way. So Roman's got a new bout, and then out of nowhere, so Triple H dips. Did you see him just dip?
Yeah, he's gone.
Oh. So they come down to the ring, the Usos, and the first thing Roman says, looks at Jay and says, kick him in the face.
Yeah.
Kick him in the face, he kicked me in the face. Kept saying it, kick him in the face. So I was like, yes. And then there was just a bit of awkwardness. Jimmy was like, it's all over, basically, and it's not happening. And then they were one side going, you've got to stop this. We can be the bloodline together.
Yeah.
And he goes, what are you thinking? Solo, what are you thinking? And then Solo literally turns and goes, you are my tribal chief. And then Jimmy and Jay are like, oh no.
Yeah.
But he goes, but you're my brother.
Yeah.
They're my brothers. And then Roman's like, crap.
Yeah.
And I actually thought, crap, what's happening here?
Is he turning as well?
Yeah. I was like, what's going to happen here? Zion Quinn's going to save the day. I'm pushing that until it's dead.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Usos kind of really upbeat, and then Jimmy says, Jimmy's like, we can run this together and stuff. They both hug, Roman and Jimmy, they embrace. The crowd is actually like, oh my god, this is happening.
Yeah.
And then Roman goes, no.
Yeah.
And it's really awkward, and then Solo takes them both out. Well, takes Jimmy out.
Yeah.
Absolutely waylays him. And then Roman starts walking up the ramp with Solo. Jay's looking after Jimmy in the ring. And the last thing you hear, Roman, so Paul Heyman goes, what about Jay? What about Jay? And then Roman goes, he'll do what he always does. He'll come around. And that's the last thing you hear. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, it is. It's great storytelling. My anticipation for this made the rest of the show better than it had any right to be, because I was so excited about this that everything on the show was great.
The viewing figures as well.
Yeah.
Your viewing figures are through the fucking roof.
Yeah, it's madness.
The only way this is going, sure, Jay is obviously going to probably go with Jimmy.
Yeah,
I feel like, but in my head, I want it to swerve it and then Jay to go for Roman for a little bit, but Jimmy knows that he's like Sammy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah, I'm
I want
quite
Rikishi
intrigued.
to pick up as well. I want Rikishi to turn up. He has to turn up.
Just get more of them
He's
involved.
their fathers.
Just get more of them involved. They just need to be
Well,
in.
he's their father, isn't he? 'Cause obviously, except Roman, he's the heir, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Bring Jimmy in. Bring Afra and Seeker in.
Yeah,
Let's bring them all.
let's
Where's
get 'em
Rock?
all in. Where's the Rock? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Get him in. This is a
Get 'em.
family thing. Get them in.
Yeah. Give Ava a few, give Ava like 10 matches in a row on NXT and just ship her up to the main roster as well.
Yeah.
Tamina's around.
Yeah. Yeah, let's get it done.
Bring Trinity back. This could go on for decades.
Yeah, it could.
But yeah, that's the end of SmackDown. It's probably the longest SmackDown review we've done in a while.
Yeah, I was going to say we're up to like nearly 16 minutes recording time, and we've
Normally 7 minutes.
I was going to say it's normally dog crap in it on SmackDown. So apart from what
the trouble is, Raw was really good. So
yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm quite excited about this as well. So let's move on to Raw.
So it kicked off with Seth coming down. So he was basically, Seth has announced an open challenge, and he gave a stat, and he was going, do you know the last time this title was defended on Raw, like a championship world title? And I thought he was going to go like 5 or 6 years, because I was just thinking Roman's had the belt for 1,000 days.
I feel like it was a long time ago though, so I've not caught the opening of this, so I'm going to assume it was like 2001.
It was 2 years. Yep, that's the last time the World Heavyweight Championship's been defended on Raw.
Right.
And then here comes the Judgment Day. Bam, bam. So Damon's obviously in it. That was announced prior to the show.
Yeah.
Seth kind of cons Damien into, you don't need the Judgment Day with you, and then Damien goes, yeah, I don't need them, and Finn's like, what?
Yeah.
Oh, why? And then Seth starts mocking Finn. We're going, how's your shoulder? Last time you stepped in the ring with me, I did that.
Yeah.
And just like, so obviously there's a bit of animosity there. Dom and Rhea aren't there. They've got their own stuff to deal with, according to Damien. Yeah. But yeah, it's looking forward. And Seth does his kooky dance off, just walks away. He's like, good opener. So we kick off with a Money in the Bank qualifier, which is Becky Lynch versus Sonya Deville, and it really confused me. But in my head, I was like, why's Becky Lynch in Money in the Bank? And I forgot she's just not a champion anymore. She has to do this kind of thing.
Yeah, you're just used to her with a belt, aren't you? That's
yeah, like I rate this 2.5 stars. It was a typical Sonya Deville match. She kind of gets into it, but Becky was always going to win.
Yeah.
Green helped a lot. Yeah. Distraction wise, but then Becky just waylaid her. In the end, Becky just grabbed both of them outside and started whamming them into the security railings. Just kept going.
Yeah,
and then just took her out.
I was convinced with the way that stuff was announced that Lynch was getting screwed in this match by Stark. I was convinced. I was like, she's going to cost Becky and she's going to qualify. That was the way. That was what my mind was thinking. So I was pleasantly surprised that Lynch won.
Yeah. They need a bit of star quality in that match, don't they? I think that's what it is, because obviously people like Flair and stuff are not around at the moment. Yeah. So, and then Zoe and Trish were there as well on the gangway. They didn't really do anything. It was just kind of a slight distraction. So we had Kasami backstage. They were talking to each other, and they were just going like, "There's no problems anymore." The Usos, they were happy, obviously, about the bloodline imploding. Yeah. And then here comes Imperium. Out of nowhere, Ludwig and Giovanni, and then obviously KO rages. It was like, you've done it again. The unspoken rule. No one said your name. Why are you here? Why are you turning up? No one said this.
Kevin Owens was gold on this show.
Yeah. Then here comes Gunther, and he's about to say something, and said, Kevin loses his mind and goes, you know what, you, me, fight in the ring, come on, let's go, and he just starts running off. His music hits. So yeah, we lead with a match that wasn't announced, KO versus Gunther, which sounds incredible. And it was incredible. I rated it 4 stars. I really, really enjoyed it.
Give me this. This is what I want.
So good. Like, battering each other continuously. Kevin Owens got a lot on top of Gunther. Like, Gunther, I thought it was going to be like, he might just get it and then he'll just destroy him.
Yeah.
But just hard knocks fighting, like big match moves, swantons off top rope and stuff by Kevin. Kevin eventually, they lost. Well, Gunther picked up the win with a roll up. Yes. I can't remember what distracted him though.
No, I can see the roll up in my head as well.
Yeah, something happened. There was a distraction that led Gunther to do a roll-up, and I can't remember what the distraction was. Was it just the Imperium guys?
Yeah, I'm sure Imperium ended up in the ring at some point.
There was a lot. It's because Sammy was in the ring fighting them. That was it. And then he stunned 2 of them. Yeah, that's it.
And then Gunther
rolled up. That's it. See, we worked together.
Yeah.
Really, really good match. Match of the week, I believe. Yes, it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to think. There was another good match, and it was on this show.
Yeah. Just give me more Gunther.
And then to add to Imperium's happiness, Riddle mauls Imperium straight afterwards. Well, without Gunther, gets Ludwig in a ankle lock and absolutely shatters him.
Yeah.
Then we have Ron and Shaz backstage. That's what I'm calling them now, Ron and Shaz. They're bringing legitimacy to the tag titles. Yes, they are, because it's Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. If anyone's going to bring legitimacy to that tag titles, it's going to be them.
If they're going to bring legitimacy, start having them defend it.
Yeah.
Because at the minute, it's only the name that's doing anything, and that'll wear off soon. They need to start beating people.
So, talking of defending, next up, they fought Hayden Carter and Chance. So, they had a big package prior to that, so it wasn't just these 2 NXT girls that have been brought up. They actually showed a good package of it. And I rated 2 3/4. Really good match. They actually didn't just maul them, like they had a lot of offense, and Katana Chance and Thingy has a really good finisher. Like, they just got broke up, but have you seen their finisher?
No, I don't think so.
Carter gets Caden gets her in like a net breaker position.
Yeah.
And Katana Chance does like a 450 off the top rope, and like it's so
nice,
good
so
looking.
It's like poetry.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, it's so good looking. But yeah, 2 1/4 stars. They eventually lost because Caden had to tap out because obviously Rousey broke. But it was a really competitive match, and it kind of made them legit. That they fought someone tough and they won. And what I've heard backstage is from like the interviews and stuff is that they're high up on Katana and Thingy after that match, which is good as well. Because they need a good tag teams in the women division.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like I said before, they need to defend the titles, which is obviously what they did, to make them legit. But they don't need to be squashing people. They need to be competitive matches, and that's what they had here. And against
an actual tag team, an actual tag team.
Yeah.
So you've got a few tag teams-ish now. Like Bailey and Io are not really a tag team at the moment in my head, because obviously it's Io and Kai, but they're getting there slightly.
Yeah.
They need Doudrop and Nikki ASH, but they're doing the crap with Candice.
Yeah.
Bronson and Shinsuke and Ricochet are out back. So Shinsuke and Ricochet are about to have a match, but Bronson's basically jaw-jacking them, and then Shinsuke says, but I beat you at Money in the Bank, and then Ricochet says, I'm in Money in the Bank, so what are you doing, Bronson? And they can't just lay waste. Ricochet versus Shin, 2.5 I rated it. Ricochet, well, they both got clobbered by Bronson Reed coming out in the end. So I'm hoping this doesn't lead to another triple threat. They keep just throwing Bronson Reed in triple threats for some reason.
And he doesn't win them, which is even worse.
Yeah, and he's the loser as well normally. He's the one that gets pinned.
Yeah.
So, I don't know what they're doing with Bronson Reed. It's a bit of an odd choice. And then we had Alpha Academy backstage, and they're just in general discussion, and they're discussing about Valhalla. And Otis says, Gable says, don't worry, we've solved the problem. I've given Ortiz a famous Viking book, and he's going to figure it out. What did you find out, Ortiz? And Ortiz like, what's his name? His flipping fancy name? Otis. That's it, isn't it? And he's just like this. Like, oh crap. We need to spray them with deodorant because they smell. Gabe was like, what else have you got from this? And he went, well, you can teach Maxine to wrestle and she can fight Valhalla. And I'm like, oh god. I'd like to see Valhalla wrestle because Sarah Logan's pretty decent in the ring. She's just not wrestled since coming back. If I remember, she might have had a squash match actually randomly on SmackDown at some point with some random woman.
I don't think so. I can't remember the last time I saw her wrestle.
It would have been if that match didn't happen that I've just randomly said, it would have been prior to. It would have been Ruby. It would have been the Riot Squad breaking up, I think. Right. She didn't really wrestle after that. Because obviously she had the kid. Miz TV up next. Cody mentions Miz's tiny balls. But then here comes Dominic Mysterio. Miz goes, I've got a surprise person coming out here. And Dominic comes out and a Dom's on about prison and crap like that. And I loved it. The heat he got. Like, the fucking... Rhea was speaking, passed it to Dom. Dom couldn't speak.
No.
Like, it was so loud. Then he started speaking, but you could tell, like, it's so loud because you couldn't hear him.
No.
And people were saying recently that why they keep piping in heat for Mysterio. And then some guy posted a video live and went, no, this is genuinely the reaction he's getting.
Yeah.
Like, this is, like, you can't pipe in live noise when I'm there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And basically, he just started him calling him, you know, Dom said Cody's like a bad father. And then Cody replied back, we're going, you know, Mysterio, you know, he's not he can't be the perfect father, but, you know, he made one mistake and it was you.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. And then Dom leaves the ring upset, but runs back, slaps him in the face.
Yeah.
And then he hides behind Rhea.
Yeah.
It was
so good.
so good. But obviously he's going to lose to Cody.
Yeah.
It's so good. And then I wrote here next up Starks, and I was like, Ricky Starks, and I know it's Zoe Starks versus Natalia. Rated 2 stars. Zoe Starks wins. Natalia's in the bin as usual.
Yeah.
Heyman's backstage hyping like a story kind of line, going like, "Who's Jay gonna pick out?" Like stuff like that, and then he goes, "You know, Jay will come to the right thing, or else."
Yeah.
Indus
Yeah.
Anyway, Seth, no, Indus was supposed to have a match with the Hurt Business. I'm calling them the Hurt Business. Alexander and Benjamin, but they attacked him prior to the match and absolutely destroyed them.
Yeah.
So the Viking Raiders of Raw are doing well, and then Seth versus Damien. Rate this 3.25 stars. People are raving about this match, and I enjoyed it, but I feel like because it was so obvious that Damien was never going to win,
Yeah.
it kind of put away from the match. It was too close, but it was a good match for what it was.
Yeah.
And it added to the element that Finn came down to kind of look out the match, and then Damien's like, "Why are you here?"
Yeah.
And then Steph won with like a few curbs on like a row. It was a good ending, and then they had the stare down between Finn and Seth, and I looking forward to that match.
Yeah, because it's definitely going to happen. It's the rematch that people have been wanting for a long time. Ever since that Finn didn't get his rematch when he came back, when the Universal title was first sort of there.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it'll be a good match. The first one was great, so yeah.
Wouldn't it be really awkward if Finn finished the story before Cody?
It'd be funny, I know that.
It'd be fucking hilarious.
But yeah, Raw was fun, so it wasn't a bad show at all. So both WWE shows were a lot better this week. So we'll move on to the other wrestling company that we talk about here, which is AEW, and we'll start with Dynamite.
Yep, you start with Dynamite.
Yeah.
Collision isn't happening yet.
Yeah.
Get used to it. Get used to it, though. So remind me to bring something up halfway through this, because it's something I found online and it's blew my mind, and I really want to talk how angry it's made me.
Okay.
But I don't mention it at the start. So we kicked off with Swerve versus OC. I rated it 2 3/4. I'm bored of Orange Cassidy.
Yes.
Like, it was a good match.
It's a staple question every week in WCP of first theme.
Yeah.
Will always be Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, it's just they need to get. It's just never ending.
Yeah, but you can't end the reign on TV now. You can't.
But they've done something stupid, because every show they mention how battered he is, and he keeps getting more and more injuries. Like they said on this show, he's got a bad back, he's got a bad knee, he's got a bad hand, and it's like, well, he's going to fight Keith Lee like when he's in a coffin next show. It's like, what are you going to do now? Like,
yeah,
it's getting silly now, and they need to either fucking Forbidden Door.
Yeah, it's got.
But then who's he going to? Like, who's he going to bet? Because it's got like it's all New Japan versus. So is there a New Japan guy going to win it? Cole Fletcher? No, he's already fucking lost him. Like,
no, they'll figure out a way around it, but it needs to be soon, and it can't be on TV.
Maybe a triple threat, maybe something.
They've made such a thing of this reign that if they end it anywhere but pay-per-view, it's done.
Maybe a triple threat, then have someone like Tanahashi in it, but then have like an AEW wrestler in it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, something needs to be done, because good gravy. It's just never over. The embassy come down. They start mauling Cassidy. The lights go out. It's That was my Paul Bearer version if he enjoyed Sting. Sting Derby with Cassidy, and that's going to be a match, I'm guessing, the Embassy with the Gates of it. Well, the Gates of Agony and Cage versus Darby, Sting, and Cassidy. So
Cassidy has a lot of friends, doesn't he?
Yeah, best friends. Then following up, we had the best friends. Well, Chaos, because that was a thing at one point. So, but it's the best friends of Trent and Chuck and Rocky Romero versus the BCCW. BCCW is Black Country Championship Wrestling. Go and see them tonight. It would be for this thing. But I'm on about Blackpool Combat Club. Yeah. God damn it. Which was the team of Claudio, Wheeler, and Moxley with Danielson on commentary. Danielson had a really good package prior to this of him versus Omega. I'm really looking forward to that match. They've announced 2 really good matches: Omega versus flipping Ospreay and Danielson versus Okada.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. That's going to be worth the money alone, isn't it? But you said about the package that they did. Whose package did you prefer, Roman's or Bryan's?
No, Roman had a very good package. It's time to bring it in. Where's the lie?
Oh God, we've just been
yeah. Anyway, Roman's package. Where are we? No, BCC. I nearly said it. Blackpool Combat Club. So I rate this 3 stars. They picked up the win, obviously, but it was a bit more competitive than I expected. The ended with Moxley choking out, I think, Romero and Wheeler doing the elbows to the other one, while Brian Daniels was just shouting elbow on commentary. And then pan to the back, and it's the Hung Bucks.
Of course.
Yep, because everyone has to have a name of a group. But yeah, Adam Page and the Young Bucks, they're challenging them to a match without Danielson and stuff to see it. So they're definitely going to win because you need to keep the story alive. Yeah. Then MJF comes down to the ring. MJF's basically saying he's done with wrestling. There's no one who can fight him. No one cares. Shut up, crowd, I'm speaking. But then it's all about the boom. Adam Cole, baby. So Adam Cole comes down and he's about to do his baby, but MJF says shut the music off. Everyone's booing because you dickhead. Yeah. Then MJF comes into like a heartfelt speech of like, you're the reason I kind of got into wrestling. Yeah. When you were in Ring of Honor, because I forget how young MJF is, like 22. So obviously Adam Cole was wrestling 2011.
Is he not 25, MJF?
I keep thinking he's 22.
Yeah.
He's so young. But 25, so say 2007. So that's 16 years, isn't it? So 9. So yeah, Adam Cole, he was like, you're the reason I got in wrestling. I used to watch tapes of you. I used to get tapes as much as you want. And I was going, well, this is heartfelt. And then out of nowhere, obviously, does the, but what happened? Look at you. You're not the Panama Playboy anymore. You're the I can't think of the exact word he says, but you're pale goth kid. He basically says, that plays video games in his room. Yeah. And look at I heard the WWE got rid of you because they just didn't think you were up to the grade.
Yeah.
Old Vinnie Mac said you weren't just there, and then MJF turns the crowd and go, Vinnie Mac's a nice guy, isn't he? And I was like, you're a dickhead. And then he starts going, then Adam Cole kind of starts retorting it, going, I've heard this all before. You just sound like an internet troll by now, like what everyone's saying online. And then he mentions, MJF goes, why don't you speak to your that guy you're managing, Keith Lee? And just starts throwing it all out there. And Adam Cole's go, yeah. And then eventually Adam Cole goads MJF into a title match next week, which will be a really good match.
Yeah. But
obviously MJF's going to win, but it will be a really good match.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
We're up followed by Jungle Boy and Hook. Well, Jack Perry and Hook now, but I'm confused because they call him Jack Perry, but this team's called like Jungle Hook, and it's like, is he Jungle Boy again? Like, decide what you want to call him now.
Yeah.
It's like it's a mixture of what's going on, and they're versus LFI, which is La Faction and Goblin Arblades. version of Driscoll and Preston Vance. And prior to this match, 'cause I forgot to write it down, the Hardys had an apology segment with Ethan Page, where Ethan Page apologised. I haven't been watching Rampage, so I didn't know what was going on, and I didn't care. The match itself, though, 3 stars. I rated it. It was helped by Preston Vance knows how to bleed.
Yeah.
Like, you've seen Preston Vance bleed. He bleeds a lot.
Right.
He knows how to bleed. They win in the end.
Fair.
The Jungle Hook. TK's backstage, and he announces the main event for the first Collision. And I was worried at the start when he said Jay White, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
And he went Juice Robinson, and I was like, oh no, what are you doing? Is it going to be Ricky Starks and the other side? And he goes Samoa Joe, and I was like, and he goes versus FTR, and I went, oh, I know where this is going. And CM Punk, and I went, it's alright.
Yeah.
It's alright, but the team's cannon fodder, the other team, and it's all.
They're not gonna have them lose.
Yeah. But yeah, it's alright matchup. Takeshita was up against Damian Ace next. Who won? Who do you think won? Yeah. Quarter start. Squash match.
Yeah,
Takeshita's ratings go in the bin now.
This was all about getting him on screen, getting him a win, and having Don Callis say some shit, I'd imagine.
Yeah, basically Don Callis just called out the general shit of it, going, Omega's a dweeb. They kept, in the corner on the Titantron thing, they kept replaying Don Callis stabbing Kenny Omega during the match.
Nice.
And he just basically says Omega's a cancer.
Yeah.
Then we had Christian Cage backstage. Well, Officer Bob Brady, I'm always going to use that Cornette reference to, was backstage. And he said, I've got interview time with Christian Cage, but he's not answering. Started whacking the door. Christian Cage goes, on, you get involved in our stuff. We'll sort you out. And then Luchasaurus walks from behind him. And then you look, fucking Brock Anderson's been absolutely pummeled.
Yeah.
And he's bleeding. So,
blood.
Did you know Arn Anderson had a son?
No.
I completely forgot
I did.
because
Of course I did.
he just gave up caring about his son, until, it was like, oh yeah, this son that I could be managing. No, I'd manage Wardlow.
Yeah. Or Cody.
Next up,
or
we had
anyone else but my son.
Yeah. Next up, we had Statlander versus Anna Jay. And the first thing I wrote here is, don't turn Statlander into Orange Cassidy.
Yeah.
Don't have a match every week. This is 2 title matches in a row. Don't do this.
Yeah.
So if she has a match next week, it's happening.
Yeah.
And it's worrying because Cassidy has a match every week as well. It's like, God damn it.
Yeah.
I rated 2.5 stars. Matt Menard kept getting involved because obviously he's with Team Anna Jay, but Statlander ended up tombstone into the hell.
Yeah.
And then Tyre's backstage really angry. But it makes no sense because Tyre lost twice. Why she's angry that Statlander won the title, but you have no say. You've lost twice cleanly.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't screwed. First one, you're technically screwed because of couldn't do the move, but fair enough.
Yeah.
And the main event was White versus Starks. It was the match of the night. I rated it 3.25 stars, but I just don't care for Starks at all. No. I've discussed this every week. He's just boring.
Yeah. He's just AEW's version of Austin Theory, but not quite as good.
Yeah, they're just not. He's just boring. And this match, the thing that kind of saved it a bit more for this was the Gun Club came down at the 310 to Yuma and Starks, and Jay White picked up the win. So obviously Bullet Club Gold.
Yeah.
The Gun Club's joining them clearly.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing next week Bullet Club from Japan are probably going to turn up, and there's probably going to be a Bullet Club versus Bullet Club match because obviously Jay White got kicked out. So
yeah. Whatever happens at Forbidden Door happens, but that's shaping up to be a great show. Mm-hmm. So when is Forbidden Door?
2 weeks.
Is it in 2 weeks?
25th or something? 25th of June, something.
I'm trying to work.
Is it 20? Yeah, we're the 25th of June. It's a Sunday.
It's a Sunday.
Because
I'm trying to have a look at my calendar to see if I'm going to be able to watch this live. Yeah, but we can carry on. I'll work it out.
Yeah, that was the end.
Yeah. So yeah.
That's the end of the show.
Yeah, no, just do the outros and stuff because that is where we're at. That is the end of the show. Unless Rate's got something to add.
Wait, I forgot about the thing I was going to mention.
Yeah, same.
Have you seen what? Spoiler, by the way, for people who care about Rampage. They've announced there's going to be, at some point in the slight future, there's going to be a mixed gender 6-man tag.
Yes, I have seen this. It is Lethal, Jarrett, and Karen against Mark Briscoe, Aubrey Edwards, and some other cat.
Why is Aubrey Edwards deciding she wants to be a wrestler now?
I think she did want to be a wrestler, didn't she? And just ended up in the referee's position, so it's not like she won't.
And she wasn't good at that, though!
I don't know, I've never seen her wrestle, so I haven't got a clue.
Fucking bin her off. Bin her off.
Right,
She'll be wrestling Chris Jericho matches now. Forget reffing them. She'll be wrestling them. It'd just be Chris Jericho and Edwards versus the world. Fucking hate her.
Fair.
I've got to the point, I just dislike her character, and she knows what she's doing. It's not like AEW are just pushing her. She's asking for it as well.
Yeah.
Because they wouldn't go, you know what, referee, do you want to wrestle? And she wouldn't go, no. I bet she was fucking, yes.
I can watch Forbidden Door, because I'm off on the Monday. Wonderful.
Good for you.
Yes.
I'm not.
I am.
Yeah, I'll be watching it in the morning prior to wrestling, prior to work.
I'll be watching it. Just not through Fight TV, let's say that. But yeah, that brings us to the end of the show. Rates had his nice little rant about Aubrey Edwards there, and wrestling.
Aubrey Hepburn.
Let us know if you agree with that in the comments. Like and subscribe. As always, we appreciate everything you do in terms of subscribing and liking the videos. We are on Twitter at the HCW Show. We've got Twitch, the HCW Show, Instagram, HCW Show, and Facebook, the HCW Show. So get on there. Discord description is in the description below, so go on there and join the Discord. We've got mine and Rate's individual Twitter handles. If you go and watch a video with DP in, you'll see his on one of his videos. But yeah, I've got nothing else to add. Is there anything else you want to say before we end it there, Rate?
Rest in peace, Iron Sheik.
Yes, some sad news. Iron Sheik has passed away. No more Twitter gold from him. And it's just been a bit of a sad day since that happened. So
yeah, I didn't expect it at all. Yeah,
no, it's weird. You think he's one of them that you thought was going to live forever.
Maybe.
But yeah, rest in peace, the Iron Sheik, and we will end it from there. So enjoy the rest of your evenings, and thank you for watching. See ya.
Fuck you, Hulk Hogan.